Hey, today we're gonna be talking about Nico Baby Faceless Void. My man popped off, and yeah, I want to talk about Faceless Void, Nico Baby as a human being. Me and him are very close, and yeah, let's get into it. Please do smash the like button if you guys like me analyzing these professional matches, but this one will be a lot more condensed. I'm going to be talking primarily about the carry role, farming, snowballing, when to use chrono, how to basically find that balance. Because Faceless Void is a hero that needs that balance. He needs to be able to hit a bunch of creeps, scale, but also show up with chrono. It's kind of like Slark and Juggernaut as well. And so yeah, smash the like button, click the subscribe button as well. And because GameLeap is your favorite channel for content creation, sign up to our website. You don't even have to watch the videos. I just know you are so excited to support us. So you're going to click the link down below and sign up. Wow, thank you so much, guys. And now let's get into it. Alright, so first things first, we saw a Phoenix Faceless Void opener. I'm not going to look at the draft for too long. I'll spend literally a minute on it compared to my usual 8 minutes I spend on the draft. But I think Void is decent against Magnus. Usually the reason why I think this is because when you pick Magnus, you pick a PA, you pick a Jug, you pick a Slark, a TV, some sort of Giga Carry. And so the way you can counter that, or see it coming, is you say, okay, they're going to pick a Giga Carry that we need to kill in the team fights. So what we do is we pick this Void, we chrono him, then we Macro Pyre the carry, then we Phoenix Egg the carry, and you kind of just destroy this Giga Carry, which in this case seems to be the Juggernaut. On top of that, you're pretty good against Magnus in lane, right? You can deal with the constant harass, so it's a pretty good hero overall. Alright, then to finish it up, we see a Jakiro pick from Alliance, which is obviously good with Void, it just works well. All the spells go into the Chrono. Dragonite does damage into Chrono, it also prevents you from having to be the only direct stun on your team here, right? Alliance wants to be able to actually stun people. And Nature's Prophet, which is going to do a lot of the lane shoving this game. And from OG, we saw a lot of weird picks here. We see Avenge to swap people out of Chrono. A Rubik, which, I don't think that has to do with this, and yeah, let's just get into the game. Alright, so here we are getting into Nico Baby's Faceless Void gameplay, and you can see here they're really putting an emphasis on getting the correct lane. They want to make sure that they get the correct matchups, and now let's take a quick look at his items. We got a Salve, Tangos, Slippers, 2 Branches, and Quelling Blade. Pretty standard Void stuff. Basically, what this hero does well in the lane is it does a lot of damage. Void just trades extremely well. Your level 2 spike is one of the hardest in the entire game, and therefore, when you hit level 2, if you have a bunch of stats, you're going to trade very, very well. So Nico Baby is going to have a pretty easy lane. Basically, what OG is doing here is some sort of a tri-lane. But basically, what your goal should be as Void is to trade once you hit level 2. You can see Nico Baby is going very, very aggressive, and he also shipped out another set of Tangos, and this is what I want you guys to do in your games as well. Ship out that extra set of Tangos, and then when you hit level 2, anytime your opponent is going for a CS, beat the poop out of them. Specifically, the poop. And I want to show you a quick major example of that, which we'll see in this upcoming clip here. But basically, Nico Baby is casually last hitting. Now we see a double wave. Most people would say, oh, it's a double wave, I don't want to trade, right? However, it's a 2v1, and you are a hero that has 5 armor and 300 movement speed, as well as plenty of regen, so it's fine. He also just recently picked up his Orb of Venom because he knows this is a very advantageous matchup. You can tell he's adapting to the lane that he had. If it's a hard lane, maybe he'd buy a stick. But nonetheless, he instantly goes on Seb. Why? Because Seb wanted this creep, right? Seb was going for this creep right here. Nico Baby says you can't have it, and most players, especially if, you are not a MMR, you're not in the pro scene, would overcommit for this creep. They would. And then you get a kill. After his first Wraith ban, he eventually transitions into a Wand here, and then this is what I like to call, and I'm going to call it this, the Nico Baby Classic. The reason why I'm going to call it this is because what he does is he goes a Wraith ban into a Wand. He does not buy treads. He does not buy boots, right? That's how cool Nico Baby is. He doesn't even wear shoes. So much so to the point where he just rushes a Midas. He buys a Gloves of Haste and rushes Midas. He's a very greedy safe lane player, right? I mean, he does play high tempo on certain heroes, but this build works on Void. Why is that? Because Void's goal in the early game is to sit in his lane, farm the creeps, bully anyone who comes because you buy all these stat items, and then when you have Chrono, you look for a kill mid. Generally, mid. And let's see exactly and talk about why that is. So, he's just staying in his lane, 40 last hits by 7 minutes, which is, pretty freaking good. Continuing to farm up the wave after a nice little pull. Gonna get his Midas around the 9 to 10 minute mark, which is what you should be averaging. And you can see instantly against mid here. Well, why is this? Because he's Chrono. Also, it's a good matchup for this. He is a ranged hero within the DK, right? Well, at least the ulted Dragonite. So that's something you should check, right? Picking Void with some sort of ranged mid hero really enables you to make this high tier play, this high impact play, and the enemy is a Zeus, and so they can kill him, right? It's just kind of just one of those heroes you can kill, right? And so yeah, he ganks up mid, gets a free little kill, doesn't get the last hit, which is a bit of a bummer for his Midas timing, but nonetheless, he's gonna farm up this mid wave and goes all the way back to top. Right guys, whenever you make that play, what you want to instantly do afterwards is immediately go back to farming. And this is how you maximize your efficiency and impact on Void. What I see with a lot of players is they don't really know how to manage the two. I want to make your lives very simple. Before the game starts, identify which lane you think you'll be able to kill, then when you hit level 6, just gank it. TP, gank it. If it doesn't work, go back to your lane. If it does work, what do you think I'm going to say guys? Go back to your lane! Alright, let's continue to watch on as he's pressuring this top tier 1 tower, gonna immediately Midas up the 10-minute cart, just to, basically allow his cart to push in the top tower. Unfortunately, Seb comes over, but with the help of S4, he's able to actually kick this Magnus out of the lane, so much to the point where they're actually able to barely chase him down. So we're gonna see the second rotation of the game here, and I do just want to talk about why he does this, and give you guys a bit of clarity on, the pro's decision making. So here he ends up TPing in, the Hanskin Phoenix was getting dove. He has no chrono. So the question is, why would he TP? Well, I think the reason here is because he just really wants to get this massive bottom creep wave. After all, S4 just came up here to take his farm on the Nature's Prophet. And as you can see, S4 on the Nature's Prophet is way too low to defend bottom, right? He currently has 500 health, no regular TP, so he can't even properly choose where he wants to go. However, Nico Baby, having this wand and a lot of stats, as well as level 9, which is the 6-second time walk timing, allows him to actually take this farm. So the cool thing here is that he basically says, okay, right, I have a Nature's Prophet off lane. This is a hero that wants to scale. This is a hero that's going to farm up a lot, even though S4 just... Hello? What? What are you doing? Get the item, S4! Yes! Okay, I'm going to go back to my point now. What was that? But he knows he can actually, deal with a bit of this pressure. Sure, the tri-lane does sort of end up coming out from OG and he can't deal with it too much, so he just goes over to the jungle and starts popping some creeps with his Midas. But you can see, he doesn't really care that much about defending the tower. It was more so just the fact that he could farm there, right? The Prophet couldn't, he could, so he says, okay, I'll sacrifice a little bit of efficiency for the overall net worth of my team. So do understand that, guys. As a safe lane player, you can, if you really have to, give some farm to your offlaner. And the next thing I want to say, only because I was recently playing a game, I was playing a game of Unranked and I had a Juggernaut safe lane who kept saying that as the safe lane carry, he wanted to defend the top tower. Why? And sorry, we were on the other side of the map. Don't defend the safe lane tower, just let it go. Especially if they're pushing it with like a lot of heroes, like 4 or 5 heroes, and you have to synergize like on a pro level to basically fight it. Don't do it. Just let the enemy team have the safe lane tower, because then the wave shoves in and it's actually in a much better spot, right? This isn't a better spot because there's an outpost sort of defending you, there's a tower that's relatively close, and very often people will just push the tower and then leave. So if you're a safe lane player, let the enemy team have your tower if you are trying to become a top net worth player. And now we're going to see Nico Baby show up mid. Definitely a weird play. Honestly, this is one of those plays that I'm like, maybe he didn't have to make this. The reason why I say that is because now he's actually going to get gone on mid, and he didn't have chrono for 20 seconds. He also kind of got caught out on int treads instead of strength, and sort of ends up going down. So not the best play by Nico Baby. Honestly, I'm a bit surprised Alliance even made that play in the first place, or even the fact that Nico Baby showed up, because I feel like they could have just pressured them in tower and let Nico Baby farm. Now right now, let's just look at the map state and pay attention to his farming patterns, just for a little bit of efficiency practice. So first things first, coming out of base, he's going to time walk all the way to this camp, kill it off, obviously dropping the Midas as well. In treads when time walking, Agi treads when farming. He can't really push out bottom, mid, or top right now, and so he's not going to, right? Now after he farms up this camp, you're going to notice a very clear trend within Nico Baby's priorities, which is, whenever he's in this area or he sees his team going for a mid tower, he's going to try to push it, right? So instead of going to this camp, which is the worst camp to farm in the game, unless there's a wave here, he goes mid. Now why is this the worst camp in the game? Because you're close to nothing. If the creep wave is here and here, you're just farming a dead area. Your next option is this creep camp, which is very far away, and then this or the small camp, which is just meh. So yeah, he's going to show up mid here, gets a really nice chrono onto the Zeus. Beautifully done, honestly, such good synergy. It's always great to see pros just having that level of coordination. And yeah, he's able to actually take a really nice fight mid here. Just Alliance, you can see they're clearly forcing the issue. They want OG to make the mistake And this time it made a lot more sense to me, right? He has the Chrono, he's able to synergize it with the Jakiro, and eventually, they're able to chase down Seb. Magnus is a ridiculous hero, dude. Whoever invented this hero and continues to buff him, like, dude, why? Magnus has way too much health. It is insane. But then immediately back to farming, guys, right? You notice how, like, and I'm really trying to stress this to all you safe lane players. After he takes a fight, he doesn't just hit the nearest tower. I see this as such a bad trend in Dota, where people have this mentality of, oh, the purpose of team fighting is to hit the nearby tower and get the objective. Not in the early game. Not in the early game. It can be, right? It can be in certain circumstances with certain team comps. Maybe like a Lycan and a Beastmaster, you win the fight, insta-kill the tower. Sure, fine, right? But if you're playing Void and you're 300 HP, just go back to farming, right? You can see he's waiting for his Midas timing, and I really like this play. Instead of, bothering going back to base or anything like that, he's going to farm up his Yasha. As you can see, he actually has a Sanj and Yasha queued up as he continues to split push top here. The reason why he can do that is because of his good mini-wap awareness. He sees that the entirety of OG is mid, he ships out a salve, and he's big chillin' now. And the cool thing about this build, this Midas Yasha build, is that you hit really, really hard, and you're actually going to be an absurdly high level as long as you farm somewhat properly. You can see his last hits aren't that high right now, right? He's 115, the Jug is 122, Magnus is 117. However, if we look at the levels, he's the highest by actually quite a lot, because you get so much XP from this Midas, and you're hitting a lot of lane creeps as Void. He actually has jungled quite a bit this game, but generally when you're playing Void, you're hitting more lane creeps than your average carry, only because you're harder to gank. Alright, upcoming here, we're going to see a beautifully played fight from Neeko Baby. His Chrono was probably not the best. I think he assumed he would have a little bit more backup when trying to kill this Jug, but nonetheless, it at least forces out a bad swap from the bench. He probably was trying to get both of them in it. He maybe should have thrown it to the side more, but the Jug was pretty far away. He does end up getting the Chrono onto the Jug. Fortunately, good swap out from the Venge. That's why they picked the Venge in the first place, right? They immediately picked it as a response to the Void. He secures the kill. And next up goes on to the Magnus, right? Void is a hero that kind of just wants to stay close to his team and protect them. You don't want to overextend, because when you overextend, that's really the only time they can burst you. If you stay close to your boys, it's pretty hard for them to kill you, and that's what we see here. He gets Omni Slashed, but Limp tanks it, the Sunray comes out, and now with the help of the Vampire Fangs, Neeko Baby is able to man up through all of this absurd Zeus damage as he gets up the Time Walk with like 1 health. Like literally 1 health. He gets it off, and now with the Vampire Fangs, he's able to shred this Zeus, win the fight, and heal up to 700 health. Vampire Fangs with this build is insane, guys, right? Especially considering the Sanj and Yasha works so well with it. So if you can get this combination of items, the Sanj and Yasha, where the Sanj gives 30% self HP regen and lifesteal amp, that's the key part there, you're going to be able to heal up and sustain through fights, no problem at all. Now, if you want to be a Void, you have to get down this next concept I'm going to talk about. Like, down. You really have to get it down. You have to be an expert of this concept, and that is just attack moving. I know it might sound simple, but no joke, I know people know the concept, but they're so bad at it. It's like creep aggro. Everyone knows what it is, but like no one does it properly. So when he's hitting Saxa here, you see every single time he gets a hit, he's moving, without exception, and you have to be able to do this as well. Otherwise, you are easier to kill because you are likely going to overextend, right? Because you're going to have to chase too far, and you're going to lose a lot of kills. So please, get in this habit. On top of that, I want to briefly talk about why this build makes sense. Some of you guys might be asking, hey, why would he go Midas, Sanj, and Yasha instead of like a Mask of Madness Battle Fury or Battle Fury BKB build? And the reason why I see it this game is because if he's not very, very tanky, even if he tries to buy a BKB, he's just going to get RP'd into an Omni Slash and die. So the raw HP he gets from the Sanj makes a lot of sense against this team comp. Next here, we see a clutch decision from Neeko Baby when it comes to the Chrono. And you guys want to do this as well, so anytime you see the enemy team is roaching, you want to wait for it to get low, and then Chrono at the last second possible. Sees that the Jug was nearly about to finish it, drops the Chrono, Time Walks in, and steals the Aegis. It's actually pretty easy to do that as Void, as long as you have a slight bit of vision. And yeah, he's able to steal the Aegis from the enemy team, Time Walk forward, and threaten Zeus completely out of the fight. See, Zeus has no choice but to run. Alright, guys, this is next level decision making from Neeko Baby here. Quick little thing before we get into it though. At level 10, he took damage talent. Bit surprised about that actually in this game, but that's what he decided to go for. It does help you farm, it's really good with the Midas and Yasha attack speed. Then at level 15, he actually takes the 275 Time Walk cast range. Really good against Zeus this game. I think like in particular, it allows him to close the gap on that hero. and it's just kind of good for closing the gap and engaging and disengaging in general. Definitely a solid talent. And finally, at level 20, he takes the 40 attack speed, so kind of a bit of a weird talent build in my opinion, but he clearly wants a lot of damage, as well as a mix here, because he doesn't go the 55 time lock damage, goes for time walk cast range, but that's my opinion on it. Now in this team fight here, we see really good decision making, so what we see is a big chrono. Right now, of course, No Tail is going to swap out the Juggernaut, but Nico Baby, being the smart player that he is, sees that Jug has no Blade Fury, right? He knows that the Jug has no Blade Fury, and because of this, he's able to get a really lucky bash into an ice path and secures the kill. And the reason why that's high tier decision making is most players would never think, oh, he has no span, he's time dilated. He's actually stunned from the DK stun that came out when he was in Chrono. I can kill him. Most players would just hit the person inside the Chrono, and a lot of that is just intuition. It's knowing how much damage you deal. Some of it's luck, obviously, with that bash there, but it's primarily just being a really smart player that's willing to say, okay, just because I Chrono someone doesn't mean I'm going to take the fight. And now he forces out a terrible RP from Seb. And yeah, this is kind of where the game ends up collapsing from OG. Couple good fights in a row, and you can see Nico Baby, while he only has actually the same last hits, well, now 2 more than mid one, his net worth is going to be ages higher, 4,000 net worth above him, a full item as he's looking to pick up the Satanic. Now, Sanjinyasha's Satanic is definitely still solid, and after all, as I said, he just wants to be able to man up to the Juggernaut. If you have a hero that can man up to the Jug against like a Mag Jug, Mag PA type of lineup, you're going to be set, right? You just have to be able to deter that main threat. And finally, to end off the game, we see a beautiful 2-man chrono from Nico Baby. You see what he's doing here, guys? I love this. I love it, I love it, I love it. Sitting under a ward. Please, if you are playing mid to late game Dota, which is going to happen in 90% of your games, 99%, play under vision. The only way you get good teamfight spells off is when you see the enemy team. Whether or not it's Echo Slam, Black Hole, Chrono, doesn't matter. If you are trying to get your spells off properly, especially if they're AoE spells, wards are the key. You can see right here, he is yelling. He's spam pinging, yelling at his team, get to the ward. Get to the ward. Wards are the primary thing that dictate late game fights that most players never think about. And that's what Nico Baby does here. Gets Wave of Terror, but OG, not enough time to react. Gets a really nice chrono onto 2. Nearly actually jukes at an RP. Decides, hey, I'm just going to kill off No Tail. One little bash secures it. Shifts over to the Zeus, right? The Zeus shifted over, right? Him chronoing that early actually baited in the Zeus, right? Obviously, Thompson wants to help out with the people getting chronoed. He ends up getting, once again, RP'd, but lives! He's so tanky. So much status resistance from the Titan Sliver Sanjinyasha and great backup from his team. And just such a wonderfully played game by Nico Baby as they force out the Zeus buyback. Zeus dies back. I think the Venge diebacked as well. And yeah, that is going to be just about all for OG. A great game by Alliance. It's been a ton of fun watching them play. They're doing absolutely fantastic. I really do wish them the best. And yeah, let me know who you guys want to see me VOD review next, or what hero, what role. I'll be doing a position 4 tier list as well soon, so keep out your eyes for that. And yes, I will see you next one as we watch Nico Baby finish off this game. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned some stuff about the safe lane role, about, decision making in general. I've been having a lot of great messages from you guys on Discord about like, these videos helping and GameLeap helping and things like that. And it's been awesome to hear. So really, that's what I'm spending my life on right now, and it's a joy to hear that. So I appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next one. And peace. Before you leave, just want to say a quick message. If you're trying to get better at Dota, or you just enjoyed that video, I know this is pretty general, and you're going to hear this quite a bit from me, but I recommend you sign up to GameLeap.com. Why? Because I put a lot of effort into the content over there, and generally the effort I do there is different from the content you're going to see here on YouTube. It is different. In fact, I usually go a lot more in depth on topics or into niche topics that help you get to the next level even faster. Because on YouTube, I often have to keep it more mainstream. And that's even why I'm putting it at the end of this YouTube video. That's why this is at the end, because a lot of people just watch 5 minutes, they skip through just for like the dopamine spike. But if you are interested in actually getting better at Dota, I recommend you go to the description down below, get your discount right now by clicking the link, sign up, use the discount code that you're going to see there. And I hope to see you there right now. So click it. And yeah, thanks for watching.